Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and thank you so much for attending this, what I consider an awesome class, if I must say so myself. And by the way, hello, Katrina. Katrina is she has such a great story. We'll tell about it later for all those who willing to hang in later. But thank you for being on, Katrina.
Thank you. Good evening.
A brand new member, and she really has a powerful story. But anyway, thank you so much for attending. This class is specifically designed for business owners who have not yet gone to the $100,000 revenue mark, and for those who are contemplating getting started, and those who already, well, it's really two. Either you're getting started or you have started, but you have not yet gotten to the 100,000 mark. That's what this class is about. And there is something that Ratasha said that is so, so important, because her question was, how do I know my avatar? And once you don't have that clear, it's not that easy to get to 100,000, not even 75. You know, you will be working and working and working, and you're busy, but you're not hitting the numbers because you have not identified who that one ideal client is. All right, so what I'm going to do, we're going to start with a PowerPoint presentation, and let me just get that up for a minute. Starting with, slide from the beginning and share screen. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting because I'm not seeing the share screen. 1 second, guys. Let's see. Share screen. Perfect. We got it. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you can. Wonderful. Okay, so where we are here is an area that, like I said, is very, I'm really, really passionate about this, because I have been in business for, let me see, since I was 26 and 10, 36, 46, 56, yeah, 30, I'm going to tell my age, 35 years I've been in business, and I have seen it all. And I have 35 plus years of experience to tell you why, if I had to do it all over again, why what I'm about to show you is that important. It's that important because that's when I realized that, because that's missing for me and many others. We spend so many years in frustration, not making money, and the family members teasing us. You're still in that little small business? Did you make your million yet? All of these snide remarks. And heaven help you if you left your job to start your business and bump into a coworker. And he once used to make $120,000 a year or $85,000 a year, and you barely can get past 45,000 in your business. You could barely, sometimes maybe 25,000. And you're asking yourself, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? And I'm here to boldly say, yes, you have done the right thing for more than one reason, where I plan to explain that to you today. And so first, let's start with who I am. I think all of you know who I am, but because this is being recorded, I would have to say exactly who I am for those who will see it in the future and not really know who I am. So I am Winnie Benjamin. I'm a business training director with Malls. My own company is Stewardship Masters International, and there I am a performance advisor in business. So I'm more or less a strategist working in, or can be in a triage capacity as a chief operating officer if I had to be in a workforce. That's pretty much where we're covering, managing the entire operation of directors in all. Is something that I know very well, and I'm passionate about it. And I have been in the minutia, not theory of business, but definitely in business, because that's the only way I could have survived is being in business. I've ran a a profitable day spa that was about to go into franchising, and that was from 1991 till 2003. We were televised on the Al Roker Show 2 years in a row. That was 96, 97. And it was under their theme, how is it that spas in Southeast Queens are thriving while Madison Avenue was suffering, right? That was back 96, 97. And I'm here to say that my spa happened to have been, for example, for women who get relaxers, you know what a relaxer is, you know, the straightening, chemical straightening to their hair. Here in Southeast Queens, to be in St. Albans to be exact, women back then were getting relaxer retouches for $25 or something in that capacity. You know, just $25 to get their hair done or $35 for a relax or a retouch. We were charging $65. That's a big jump. But yet it took 3 months to get an appointment with us. We were not, that's just the hair department. We had the massage department. We had the facial department. We had the entire package department. No matter what department you were coming into for business with us, you had to be there. And it's another thing I wanted to share. They usually say that Black people don't support each other. That is by no means true. And that's the reason why we're so happy to have customer satisfaction service in the house with us tonight. He's none other than Christopher Bryant. And we cannot wait for when Christopher decides to go. We want him on malls to do some training classes for those of us who would like to have such an experience, because I have experienced for years. My clientele has always been African heritage, and they are the most loyal clients there are once they are treated with optimum respect. And when I had my spa, I spared no cost in of what I put in there, the facade, the furniture, everything I put in there was blessed with love, because I saw my clients as queens, and we have a few kings. And because of that, I see somebody coming on. Okay, I guess it's going to be open for the public at this point, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so because of that.
Winnie, one moment. I
Yes.
did invite someone in,
Okay.
Christine.
Yes, I just saw the name and let the person in.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome, Christine. So because of that, this is why I'm here to say that our people will support you to the highest hilt. All right. So I just want to park it and leave it there. So I have years of experience in network marketing, successful in Amway, successful in Mary Kay. And that's just what I know. Business is just my blood. It's my genes. It's what I am confident in. Confident. And now I'm happy to be a consultant. I'm happy to be an advisor, not only in the US, but in Ghana, West Africa, to be exact. We have Slovakia, we have Panama, we have Costa Rica, we have Trinidad, we have Tobago, and I'm still looking for more territories, all right? So that's where I am right now. I am quite a fulfilled, happy person living in this space and willing to work through individuals' businesses to bring it up. So my company, being Stewardship Masters International, is pretty much a white labeling company, which means I can be hired by a company under their name. So if I'm with malls, you don't really hear me talk about my company because I'm white labeling on the malls. Susan is on. So Susan's business is Our Legacy Plus. I'm building it out for her. And when I'm on her platform or working through her, you will never hear me mention unless she mentions me, but I am Our Legacy Plus when I'm representing her. That's what a white labeling company is. So it gives me the satisfaction to be in every form of business under that company's name. That's what a white labeling company does, right? So that being said, we're going to get started, and then by the end of this, we should probably be able to introduce ourselves to each other, because by that time the room should have had everybody in, right? So let's make sure that this is not frozen and it's getting ready to go. Sometimes when you leave it up too long, there it is. All right, so the introduction, and we have one more person. Are you keeping your eyes on the screen for me, Sonia? I just let one more person in. All right, so the introduction, starting your business right. Very, very, very important to start with knowing what your story is. What is your story? And that has been a struggle, but let me tell you, starting with why, this is what I'm just going down the introduction here, and then we go from page to page, right? What is your backstory? There is something in when we work with you on your why, we take you back as far as you can remember to find behaviors that you can remember doing that got you into a situation, one, and or behaviors by others that did not serve you well, you suffered by it, and you swore that you will do the counter if you had an opportunity to do this. And by and large, most people start their business like that. They literally start their business by a bad story that has happened to them, a consequence, a situation, and it's all behavior based. It's all behavior based. And so from that behavior is how you establish your values, right? So you will get your values from that behavior. And it's like, I do know sometimes when, I apologize there, it seems to freeze. Okay, now it's coming in. So the next one is start with the end in mind, right? So you have the behavior that will form the values, which we'll talk about later. And the next thing you have to do is start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. We'll talk about that later. The mindset work. We're going to talk about the mindset that's just a whole segment of itself before you even think about saying you've started a business. Those two, not having the end in mind and not having the mindset work done and your why backstory, if those are not done in the sequence I'm pulling them out, you are going to struggle. That 100,000 will not be anytime soon. Build your seed account. That's where some people begin. They said, okay, I'm setting aside some money to start my business, and or they bootstrap it, or they don't know how to create that seed account. The next one is to create your mastermind group. Failure to have a mastermind group by selecting and handpicking key influential people who are, you know that they're skilled, you know, you'll interview them, you notice their character, they tell you a story and you hear their resiliency through that story. They don't complain about buckling, or they're not distracted. All of these things that you need to do, and you pull some of them, you put 12 of them in a class. I must let you know this, that every business principle that I practice and I teach is 100% certified from scripture. It's God's business plan that I have been using that have served me well. And in a unique way, I'm able to teach that to every single person with confidence that if they follow that technique, they cannot fail. So I saw that he started with a mastermind. I start with a mastermind. I didn't have that back in the day when I was at your level, but today I've been there. I know what it's like. I now put those things together and I'm teaching you how to do the same. So you start with your mastermind group, because in that mastermind group, that's where you will find your ideal business partner, your virtual assistant, or your business team, right? It's going to be in a mastermind. You must then have your 1-year proof of concept. That's another mistake. Some people, and those of you got it on the handout, right? What tends to happen is that we will just start a business. We throw this on the wall. Let's see if it sticks. I'm going to make this. I'm going to throw it up here. Let's see if it sticks. Let me see if it sticks. And not knowing that's not how you do it. You waste time, energy, money, and in the process get burned out and discouraged and throw everything under the bed and go back to work. So you have to give yourself 12 months in a structured program, which is why I gave you that handout that says your 1-page, proof of concept. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay. Select your professional advisory team. Have a meeting with your CPA one-on-one. Find a financial advisor. And let me tell you, there's a difference between the ones that sell insurance or sell investment they come to you, the names, they're all out there, and they will sell you a 401k, the whole 9 yards. But there is a one that's called a professional financial fiduciary. The fiduciary is one that does not get paid by commission. They're paid by you to look out for your best interests. So they're not locked on to any company or their brand. They will shop the market for the best investment for you, your personality, and your type of business. Befriend one of those. You're not ready to pay them, but they are happy to be your friend because you're in startup and they're hoping they can grow with you so that when the money is coming in, you're right there. And they're willing to even guide you through the process. So you have the CPA. And why I say CPA, if the person is not a certified public accountant, you will have some challenges in the beginning because they may not advise you correctly because they don't know you want to start with the end in mind. You see, when these professionals I'm going to talk about, you start with the end in mind and they know that, that's why they are going to counsel you in the way you start your business because they now know what you plan to do at the end of the business. If you just walk into them and says, I'm starting a business and I do my best, they're going to do just that. They're going to do your taxes. And when time comes to borrow money, you're jammed because they have been doing your taxes incorrectly, advising you wrong because they didn't know you had a dream. At the end, they just think that you just wanted, your little side hustle, you're not a big company, so they treat you as that. That's how you're going to learn how to select them. Are you ready to launch? Because after you've done all of that, now the question would be, are you ready to launch? So let's talk about what's your story. How many of you have read the Simon Sinek Start With Why book? Or have heard of Simon Sinek Start With Why?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
You've heard of him.
Yep.
This is a book. I recommend you either get it on a Kindle, but I prefer that you get it in the paperback because you could sit on your bed at night, taking a chapter with your marker, highlight it, especially chapter 1. That is so profound. He was the one that created what's known as the golden circle. As you see it here, the why is in the middle. The how is outside of the why, and the what is on the perimeter. And the reason why he would say that is that when you ask someone, and I think that's what Natasha was just saying, I don't know who my avatar is, and that's okay. You are part of the millions of us that did not know, and some still do not know, right? So you're in good company. But he would say, people will start with what they do. They said, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a banker, I'm a this, or I'm a business owner, or whatever. They always tell you what they do. They might be able to tell you how they do it. How do you do it? So we visit clients and we make appointments and we book their calendars. All that is in the how you're doing it. But then when they come to why, crickets. And that's a problem because if you don't start with the why, you will not be able to inspire clients and you're not going to be able to inspire excellent employees. I'm not talking about just any employment. I'm talking about the ones that you can go to Bali and stay in there for a whole year. And when you come back, your company has grown tremendously because your why was so inspiring that you attract hungry professional people that just want to be a part of this startup and just want to know your vision and just give them a chance. And they say, sit back, I'll take this, I want to grow this business. I want to be a part of this dream because it's so inspiring. Apple, for example, is one such company. Southwest started that way. The Harley Davidsons. When you read the Start With Why book with Simon, you are going to see real life business that you know today. And that's how they started. The why inspired them so much. How many of you remembered Apple when they opened up in Manhattan some years back? It was cold and people were on the sidewalk with blankets for 3 days. Did anybody remember that?
Yes.
Yes, you remember, right? And people were, reason why the line grew so big, because people thought that if they're out here in that cold with blanket, Apple must be giving it, they're getting ready to open up a store. So obviously they're going to give away something for the first day. So people were joining the line.
Yes.
These were Apple's tribe.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that later. The tribe. And that tribe will go out and build your business when the why is strong. Because the disappointment was that when the store opened 3 days later and them being online, there was no discount. Everything was at full price. Everything was at full price. And they waited on that line because the majority were diehard supporters of Apple. Apple only gives $100, maybe on Black Friday, but mostly discount to teachers in education or to kids somewhere. That's it. You'll never see their product ever go on sale. That's a different conversation. All right. So what are we talking about? Facts, where you come up with the numbers, 10,000 people, this, and you know, they're hungry, and you come up with all the statistics. You're just telling the story. It does not move people. But if you want to sell somebody an idea to come and be with you, or for supporting you in any way, you better tell your story. It's the story that sells and bring you above your competition. So you're finding more and more people telling a story, because what happens with a story? You remember it. When somebody tells you a story, you remember it. And if it's very inspiring, you're going to remember it even more. And that's how they remember you and decide, I want to buy this brand. I have 5 other brands out there. They may be more than this. Maybe they're this, they're that. But you know what? I am going to buy this person's brand because of their story. The clients today buy your brand because of your story. If you don't lead with your story, you don't have a story, if it's not part of your marketing message, when you're getting ready to talk, they said, nice, come again, you know, I'll get back to you. There is no story. They're just seeing the feature of your products. They see what it does. They see how to work with it. And they say, that's nice. And they move on to the next person. But if you want them to be like Apple, who will sit out in the rain, and because they're out there, it draws more people, you better tell a story that is compelling. Must be inspiring. And you must identify the attitude within the story, the behavior, how you overcome it. Katrina is on today. She's getting ready to be a Malls member. She was referred to us by Mark Brazier. And this woman told me an inspiring situation that happened to her and her family during COVID. And I could tell the story verbatim. She only said it to me once. I invited her to be here tonight. She was deserved to be here tonight. Because this fire and the resiliency that she has demonstrated, despite her story that you all don't even know. Some of you all would faint, and she's here tonight. This is why if she decides to do her business and a product, and I know she will because she's proven to me she's that resilient, she will fly to 100,000 just by focusing on her story, because people lock in to your story. So say hello to Katrina. Welcome, Katrina, right?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, okay.
Welcome, Katrina.
And in
Good
mind.
evening, Katrina.
Yes, everybody's saying hi to you, Katrina. Okay, we're your family here, okay? What is the end game? So you just figured all of you right now have some product or an idea. but you want to know the end game, where you want to be, why you want the business to be that for you, why you feel the business will be the vehicle that's going to bring the revenue for the lifestyle you want at a certain age. And therefore your product and your current service at the start line, do you see the little yellow pink here? That's the start. So to get to this goal, you have to have a product or a service that forms a brand with your character, that's going to trade for dollars, that's going to get you here. Now, if you don't know what you really want to be at a certain age and the lifestyle that you want the business to fund the life you love, then you will start, you don't have an end game, and look what happens. You take the bottom wrong. All kind of random actions, tons of money wasted in this part, that first part of the curve, tons of money. Your little seed money that you didn't even have in the first place. Banks not loaning you any money on startup unless you're going to take it from your equity line of credit or something. So you cannot afford to waste a penny. So that's the reason why these random actions is what we all did in old school. This is new school. No one is doing that. They're working with consultants or programs like what you're in here tonight that sets you straight. Okay, you have the tactics that you're going to use. You all hear we talk about the OGSM, objective, goals, strategies, and measures. And that's where you get the tactics from, right? Then you're going to have the coherent strategy. That thing called strategy, don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. That's powerful, right? You have where at the end, you're getting to where your goal is. You've heard of SMART goal, which stands for, who can tell me what SMART stands for, the acronym for?
Small, measurable, achievable. Wait a minute, SMAR, small, measure, achievable. I forgot what the R means.
Yeah. Specific,
Yes.
measurable,
Yes.
achievable,
Yes.
realistic, and time-based.
That's right. Time
Oh, okay,
bound.
that's it. Okay.
Right, that's your acronym. It has to be specific. What is it? What product are you selling? What business are you doing? What goals are you got? It has to be specific. It cannot be random. Look where she went. She said, oh, the bridge ends here. I end up with crickets. Right? It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. Objective, goals, strategies, and measures. That's a requirement of Mars. It's part of our brand that our members function from that tool. That tool was known from Grumman and Procter & Gamble. Those are the two major companies that are thriving today. And up until today, their company functioned from an OGSM, and many companies have followed them behind it. So start with that end game. And then you get the vision and the mission supported by the values. And the values and the vision and the mission they are extracted from the why story. The vision, the mission, and the values are extracted from your why story, right? And then from those values, which values is another word for behavior. So when they said, what's your values? Well, you are accountable, you are you're reliable, you're trustworthy, you're respectful. These are values that you hold dear to your heart because they were missing in your backstory that caused you pain. Somebody disrespected you. Somebody cheated you. There was no trust. Your backstory will have a whole lot of dirt in it. And those are behaviors that you decide to counter because you saw what those behaviors have done, and you're going to counter it because you believe others out there might want the same experience that you were going after and don't want to go through your hell. So your business exists to avoid those people coming behind you, to avert that nonsense and have that pleasant experience with a smile like the one at the top here, right? So, and I want you all to write some questions down because I'm coming back for questions, okay? Proof of concept. So the next thing is your proof of concept. What is a proof of concept? You have an idea. Each and every one of you here have an idea. Some of you have maybe gone ahead and got an LLC or an S Corp behind your idea. You've gotten all of the registration, the bells and whistles, but you have not gone through your proof of concept to be sure there is a market for it, right? So the proof, you have a concept, you put it to the test. I think Christopher, if I'm not mistaken, Christopher has worked on his proof of concept because he has not launched, as far as I know. He could correct me, but he was basically have the description. This is why in the malls program, you have the life plan. And most of you who have been in already have been on the life plan, and the pitch section is what is known as your proof of concept. You will notice it sort of mirrors this. It's one page. It talks, when you did your live, it starts the description. Basic introduction to your business model. What is it? What do you think that it is? What's basically your target? I'm going down instead of across, right? I'm going down on it. What's the customer, vertical rather, the customer targets, the top 3 customer challenges, because you now know your gift. You have identified your gift. Now you're going to speak a message or in a voice of telling a story that will resonate with people in the marketplace. Where would you find those people? If it's single mothers, where would you find them? If your business is for single mothers, if your business is for people who are health conscious, but they have to be at a certain income or educational level, where would you find them hanging out? All of those things is what we take you through when we are doing this business model canvas for you. It's a discussion. You can't just suddenly decide to do it. We have to, you know, it's in a group setting, right? And you're going to have a discussion. And with malls, it's the one-on-one. And I should ask, Sonia, you have done weekly one-on-ones with your life plan. How has that experience been for you, Sonia? Mute? Are you on mute?
Yeah.
Okay. How has that been experienced? What was enlightening for you?
One of the things that stand out, it has been great overall, put it in like that. But one of the things that really did stand out for me is understanding my market. I had a different concept of market that certainly wasn't going to bring me over 150,000, you know?
Yeah.
And so learning about the market and where do you find the market and who is your target people within the market, that was very, very eye-opening for me.
Yeah, because Sonia is a licensed clinical social worker. Am I correct? And a
You're
doctor.
correct.
Okay. So obviously, where most of that profession work is going to be for city agencies, governments, clinics, the like, okay, government run. And they get insurance, and then you probably just get a salary. And she was very ambitious to say, I can't do this. I want to start my own business. And she went into private practice. But what was missing from her, she did not have what she's hearing. She didn't have this step. She just quit, went into private practice, registered with all of the insurance companies, right? Medicare, Medicaid, everybody, and they will send her clients. But let me ask you a question, Sonia. Do these insurance people pay you per client at times when you're on the insurance? These people who normally are on these public or whatever insurance.
Whatever insurance, the insurance pays for the services, the client.
About how much on an average?
The insurance on an average would be less than $100.
Less than $100. Do they pay sometimes $45, $50?
No, they pay more than that.
They pay more than that. Very good. Because there are times when I've had people who told me that, for example, I have clients that are physicians, general practitioners, and they only sometimes get $35 a client.
No.
And that's how
it
bad
also
it
depends on. It also depends on your degree or whatever after it.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you have a specialization.
You are specialization.
Specialization is fine, but the general practitioners, insurance pay them much, which is why they have to have a copay, right? The copay is supposed to assist them with paying some of their office expense. So the goal was, if she went after professional clients who would have better insurance, and many of them, if her up level in service she provides is so up leveled that they're willing to pay out of pocket, there is no reason, I know for her industry, I know for a fact, and her professional standard, she can easily get $1 million billing a practice with a certain caliber of clients. Once you have that,
That's for sure.
the JD or any of those distinctions, you could never be under $1 million in revenue. No possible way. Unless you were doing it without an advisor who know what they're doing to guide you, right? So the customer targets. Now, if you're in product base, if your business would be products, it's going to be much harder to get to that number because products will limit you. Service will take you to $1 million in faster ways than you think, but a product will limit you because there's only so much the market is going to pay you for a product. That's why I tell everyone, use the product as a bait, but back it up with a high paying service. And you can get to $1 million very fast, right? But if all you have is a product and it's not backed up by a high-end service, nah, you'll be struggling. The competition will beat you up out there, beat down your prices, whole 9 yards. Products are vicious. They're only supposed to be used as a bait, but to introduce that client to a high paid service. And we'll talk about what that could be, right? You have the customer pain points, right? Because it's a service. The product is not really, it's just a temporary fix or what have you, but they're deeper rooted problem that needs to be addressed, but you're just giving them a Band-Aid if it's a product. But if you can find other people, collaborate with them and go deeper, that's where you know, are you dealing with a customer challenge? And that's talking about collaboration. And we don't have time to go into that, but collaboration is going to be your key when you have the product and your partner has the service. Now you capture it. Just think Amazon. Amazon had the books and they had thousands of partners that come on to deal with the client who just have the books, but they also have other needs. They need Pampers, they need towels, they need everything. You have to have a business almost like that. You focus only on your service, not another thing more. And you get partners to do the sharing of the same client base because you have the goods on them. You know what the problem is. They like you, they trust you. I trust Amazon with my credit card. So I can go on Amazon, get everything. If it's the wrong thing, I don't have a problem with it. They tell me, drop it off there. I said, no. You come and pick it up. They send me right there with the label. What you call it? I just send it in. I put the little label on it and the UPS guy picks it right up. Service. Or if you want to drop it off because you're not at home, drop it off at Staples or any of them. Service. And at times they give me the money back before, once the guy scans it, the money's back in my account before it even gets back to Amazon. Service. So we trust them. So because we trust them, we order from anybody on Amazon other than their books because they have my credit card protected and they have my best interest at heart. That's why you collaborate. That's why malls exist with so many different individuals. And if you are really zeroing on the benefit, you intentionally want to know each other, why we vet our members so that you can increase the trust, so that you add capacity, that you can add capacity to your service. So you stay strictly in the one service that you know well. Don't try to service your client in an area that's not your gift. Collaborate with a partner, and that's you start cross-pollinating clients on the one platform, and sooner than later, you will be just like Amazon. That's a whole different conversation we'll get into later. So your messaging has to be tight to the particular client. How do you do that? If you don't start with the end in mind and know how much money your business need, anything will do. So that's why it's going to be difficult to have the message to find your right clients. If I need to get to $1 million in business and I need 100 clients paying me $10,000. Now let me see where it's 100 clients paying me 10,000, 100 clients pay me 10,000. Who's a mathematician? Where would I be where it's 100 clients pay me 10,000? Who can do the math? On your calculator, 100 clients paying me 10,000 each. On mute, mute, on mute. Somebody's on the calculator. Engaged. Uh-oh. Christopher.
100 clients by 10,000.
Yes. Christopher, are you there?
It's a
I'm sorry.
million. It's a million.
It's a mil-
A
a
million.
million, yep.
A million. But if I had 100 clients pay me only $10, you see, it's the same 100 clients, same effort. But what I'm offering is only valued at $10. Versus 100 clients,
$1,000.
$1,000, same effort. Then wouldn't it make sense that the first thing is that I'm going to go after, and this is as what they call shameless plug or understanding here, okay? The money consciousness that the mindset part we're going to get into, this is the issue. And when you're starting small, you cannot sell cheap pricing. The cheap pricing comes in when you have 100 loyal clients paying you top dollar, then you can afford to do volume play as is, because you have volume, right? Unless you're with an Oprah, and with Oprah, she gets you 10, I don't know, 1 million clients worldwide to buy a $10 item. All right, but if you don't have that exposure on Oprah, you have to get rid of that emotion or collaborate with others that have a higher end item, and you all could collaborate and do revenue share. That's another way to do it. Stay in your comfort zone, but you have to get a high-end customer service group that's, let me tell you, this is just absolutely beautiful. Am I losing anybody here, or you? Who's with me so far?
We're with you.
You're with me, right? So then, because I know I'm looking for clients who could afford to pay me $10,000, then all I have to do is find out who would be those people that could pay $10,000. Obviously, it's going to be people who I know that make over $100,000 a year. Or even not even that. In New York, they have to do 100,000. But in other areas, because you can charge 30,000, the average 2930 is an average salary for most people. You can't, that person, it's not necessary unless they are really, really smart and ambitious, they will not give you the year's salary. So $10,000, one-time bet, even a person who is making $60,000 will pay you $10,000 for something of value that's going to give them 10 times that. 10 times that. So you have to know the value of your product. And when you know you're going to pay well, do you know you do best in preparing and put all the bells and whistles on with pride, because you have people who are going to pay you top dollar. But when you know they're not going to pay you much, you're exhausted trying to do that, any old thing you slap together and give them, because you feel they're not going to pay you more than $5. And meanwhile, you're tired and you're burnt out, no longer have the zest. But if you know they're going to pay you well, you will not spare anything in the way you put your product line together, because your investment is supposed to give you 10 times, right? So we have, so your messaging, when you have the messaging, you're finding out those people who could afford to pay you $10,000, what would be their number one problem, top of the head problem. You're going to go where they are. You're going to find out what their top of the head problem is. You're going to figure out what that problem is, and you're going to find out how you can find a partner who can solve that problem, while you find another market with it, because some people will get a product and then they find the market. No, find the market, then create the product for that market. Find the market, find where the people who can afford to pay 10,000, that's your goal, because you got to get to $1 million. Who can pay me $10,000? Find that market and sit there and find out what their problem is. You're going to learn that problem. You're going to learn how to solve that problem. You're going to go to school for it. You're going to get a coach who's going to help you with it. You're going to find somebody who specializes in that area, bring them on board with you. The Bible said 2 by 2. Mark Zuckerberg had a partner. Steve Jobs had a partner. Bill Gates had a partner. Jack Ma had partners, if you saw how he started. Any wise business person, Jeff Bezos had a partner. Every wise business person know the 2 by 2 as God taught it. So it's very important. So I'm not going to go through all of this because we won't cover it. I'm just touching it. Okay. So what does the proof of concept achieve? It gives you a focus. It makes it real for you. And you're going to test all of your hypotheses for 1 whole year. What your values are, what your pricing is, what your solutions are, the customer challenges, the target market, what messaging that you are going to speak to the person who can afford to pay you 10,000 and their problem. Every level, a different devil. So if they're making $100,000 a year, trust and believe there's something at that level they got themselves into that's a pain in the neck now. It might be IRS. You never know. It could be anything. Every level is a different devil. So I might as well look for people who are making revenue over $100,000 because I can't afford to do the advertising to get to people who can afford 10. You don't have that kind of money. So when you go for a pricier group by building yourself and your confidence and your mindset, that's why you're here, to collaborate with people who are able to raise your consciousness, right? Then you go to market, you grow the opportunity, and you start your investment required, right? Of what you're going to do for your business. This is your mastermind. This is where you're going to find your partners. Iron sharpening iron. You're going to have a table like this, and you're going to put specialists at these tables, different people. So if I go and I said, okay, I want to know people who are professionals, make over 100,000, I'm going to sit among them and I'm going to be nosy. What are they talking about? What are the problems they all seem to have that I say, oh, that's me, I can handle that. And I'm listening to that. And then I go find professionals and put them around the table and says, look, guys, we're going to do this. There are opportunities out here. We are mastermind. Each of you are specialists. And when you open your mouth, we all learn from each other. It's called a mastermind. And that's how you start making your little money. That's your seed money, because your mastermind is not going to be for free, because the power is in the group. They're there because they're all benefiting, because the people are all at the same level. They're all professionals and they want to talk. They want to talk shop. They want to learn from each other. And you are busy handpicking 12 who could either be your customer, or you could find 2 or 1 that could be your partner, because they're showing up with their values. You're seeing their behaviors at the mastermind. You're checking out their behavior. Who is responsible? Who is respectful? Who is caring? What is it? What's the value you need in a partner? Who is trustworthy? In 12 weeks, trust and believe you will find that person. Okay? That's where you find your potential ambassadors that become your tribe. They're willing to sell your products for you. Evaluating your mindset, because it's in that area you're going to see your behavior. Oh my God, your own personal behavior is going to show up and may even embarrass you. But you're going to see the mindset in the room. You're evaluating those. You're going to be accountable, managing your emotions, disciplined, and focused. All of that is in the mastermind before you start your business. Without this group, you're going to struggle all by your lonesome, because you're not going to have the money to do anything more. This is really your cash cow. Now it's time to build your seed account. So you're going to start tightening your belt because you want to leave your job. You want to know, when do I transition out of my job? This is the space you start working on. You're going to add up, what is the bare minimum revenue I need to generate in order to, to be able to walk off my job. I would probably have a year's salary put aside, but I have been doing something part-time for a while. So I'm setting aside the money. I'm going to make sure my credit is on fleet. You're going to be practical with your spending, and you shoot for salary replacement goal. So if I'm making 100,000, I'm going to set a target group and goal for me to have revenue, which is 3 times expense, just to let you know, okay? By the way, Christopher, you were one that did the money map in our class about how to know how much to charge and what your goal would be. Did you remember what that number was like when I asked you to do your expenses and add your salary to that? Could you remember that number? Because I remembered it.
Do not remember it. I think it was,
Your expense, just the expenses alone, including your salary.
I think the total was like 500,000.
It was almost 500. I know it's 385 to be exact, but I think
Yeah.
you added some things onto it after I told you it was 500,000.
Right.
I think you had 385 when you brought it. That's just
Yeah.
your expense alone, including your salary.
Right. Correct.
That's expense, guys. So he cannot go out and say, well, he's going to go for a revenue for $385,000, because then he'll be eating up the whole profit of the business. He'll bankrupt it. He has to make it, his revenue has to be 3 times 385. It's going to take him into $1 million. 3 times 385. And I think he was right. He was at $500,000 by the time the son, since he has children. The business need employees. So when he factored the employees, he factored his household expense, because the entire household expense determines your salary, your lean salary that you can afford in the beginning. And then the business needs its own operating dollars. So when you combine all that together in the workshop, we talk about money consciousness. It scared most people. By the time they got to $75,000 in expenses, they stopped on their track because they could not imagine expenses going to that level to fund the life they need. No, you push through that fear. When we do money consciousness class, you're going to think this is a joke. Why didn't I know this before? And I'm staying as a prisoner all this time. Why? Okay, so your professional advisory team, as we spoke about, is going to be your CPA. They're sitting at the table just like this. You meet with them one-on-one, and then you bring them together to know each other. They must work with each other. That's the business attorney. That's your finance consultant, as we spoke about earlier, your marketing consultant, and your systems creator, your standard operating procedure. That's the value of your business. When you're ready to sell, that's what people buy, not just your name, your brand and your culture, your brand, which is your culture. That is priceless. This is the brand, the Mercedes brand, the BMW brand, the Louis Vuitton brand. The brand is the performance of the product or performance of the service. But the system of what everyone does, all the employees, they all do this. I call him Chris a lot because to me, I consider his profession his current profession as a logistical engineer, right? So he, to me, has to function from processes, right? So the process, document the process. What do I do first? What do I do second? What do I do third? What do I do fourth? And it's documented and give it to the employee. Give it to the person after you. So if you want to lay out on the beaches somewhere, somebody could take that process plan and run the business perfectly. That is the systems person who knows how to do that. Okay. This is where the work begins. It's a perception. So many of you have probably seen this in slides before. If you're on top of the water, you just think that, oh, this is just a little, if I just go and hit it, it's just going to float. It's just sitting on top of the water. It's very low mountain, but look at the depth. The depth is way deeper than the height. It's a perception, is everything. If you are the Chinese bamboo tree or the mustard tree that Jesus speak about, those two, check them out. When you plant them, the root goes down first. It doesn't grow up when you plant it. It grows down wide, humongous. Bring it up on your screen and you see the root of a mustard seed tree, a mustard plant, mustard seed tree. It is the most ugliest, humongous roots, and there's nothing above ground. Around 4 years or so, a little blade, what you will notice if it's a mustard seed tree you planted, nothing is coming up. But all of a sudden, the vegetation around it, grass, everything disappear, and it's just a parched opening land. And you want to know, did somebody spray something on here? No, the roots are choking every single life form around it, but it's not showing itself above. Chinese bamboo tree, the Chinese actually function from that philosophy. They come in, they work underground, spread out, and by the time you see them above ground, they have an entire city covered. The person who wants to get out there and jump out there early in the game because of bad advice by these gurus, it's like the tree that's just planted shallow, that when Ida comes or a tornado comes, it coming crumbling down. But you can't do that to an oak tree because the roots are deep. You can't do that to a mustard seed tree, and you sure as heck can't do it to a bamboo tree. No wind will take it down. And that mustard seed tree or the bamboo, within a year, you would think these trees were growing for 10,000 for many, many, many years because they grow so fast. Why is that used in business? Is because when you are a startup, you grow down undercover. You spread out undercover. You get your mastermind people in place, recognizance, pretend you're a military SEAL. When they're going in to take over, they don't come and say, here I am, undercover. They have the fatigue on, okay? You snooping in. The building of the foundation of the New World Trade Center, if they still call it that, they probably have their new name, but even those, the Burj Haram, which is 26,000 feet plus high. If you see the foundation, years in building that foundation, and then once the foundation is in, the siding and everything goes up real fast. That's how you build your business. So don't let anybody deter you if it's taking you 7 years for your business to even look like something, but make sure I'm looking at your roots. I'm looking at your foundation. I'm making sure check, tight, check, tight, check, tight, check, tight, tight, tight. All of that on that map, on that strategic map, nice and tight. And we say, let's launch. And when you launch it, the competitors are now seeing you and they're ready to take you down. Too late. So what they do is that they start mimicking you. Everybody's mimicking Amazon. All of the computer companies are mimicking Apple. Game changer. Too big. By the time they discover you, they're too big to take you down. So they have to change their game to start mimicking yours. But you're already out of the game with your ambassadors out there, everything. Oh, I get so excited when I talk about these strategies. All right. This is what I want for you. So the mindset, you got to look at things differently. Self-sabotaging belief. Don't put your hat where your hand can't reach. You will never make it to 100,000 with that belief. You're money conscious. I can't afford it. People won't pay for that. I'm going to feel like an imposter going after people who make 100,000, could pay me 10,000. I can't charge them 10,000. Are you kidding me? Who do I think I am? I don't need to deserve it. All of these things we're talking about money. We put more gods outside of our money than we put gods outside of God's word. And if you know anything about God's word, There was a sanctuary system, and he was found with God, well protected, curtain. Nobody be so crazy to go into where he lived in the most holy place, fully guarded. Money is a tool, but because our money consciousness had us to raise from our foreparents who believe there is no abundance, that God is a liar. He says that he gives abundance, but I ain't seen it yet. So, you know, that's to say, let God be true, every man a liar. Abundance of money is flowing just like the speed of blood in your veins. It's outside of you. It's the mindset that has to change to attract it into you. There's so many ways. There's a class, there's a thing, and I might even give it to you. I usually give to people who have not yet started a business and don't really have a product. 50 things, and even if you do, you should add that. 50 things I know how to do, but you never thought of monetizing it. 50 things. I actually got to 67 in half hour, blew my coach away because she said most people get stuck at 16. See, mindset, but I had many more years as a business owner than I ever had as an employee. So my mind can expand to all levels of many ways to create a revenue. That's why I prefer to work with brands, because I have too much knowledge and I can't do it by myself. So I'd rather come alongside each of you and add value to each of you with many ways of how you can get your business to $1 million. The only thing that's going to block is going to be your money consciousness and your self-sabotaging belief. If we can work on that, and sometimes it takes a year, that's the only thing that holds you back from that speed. But if you don't give up on yourself and you start separating yourself from the people around you, like Denzel Washington says, if you hang around with 5 poor people, you will be number 6. And I think today I even added something to my quote, and it says, your life reflection of those closest to you, just like water, so choose wisely. If you went to the ocean and it's bright blue, look at the sky. It's reflecting the color of the sky. When it's cloudy, it has like a little greenish, dully grayish tone. It's reflecting. If I went to clear, still water, like a river, and I hang over it, it's carrying my shadow in the water. As you see, the dog that looked into the water saw himself with a bone, thought it was another dog, got greedy, went after that bone with the other dog and lost his in the water. Your life right now is a reflection of those closest to you. Your life, you know what it is a reflection of those closest to you. So can you imagine you trying to get here and you have all these people in your database, and the fright of saying goodbye to them is shaking you to death because you cannot do what the God says to do. He says, remember not the former things, nor the things of old, for I'm getting ready to do a new thing. Do you not know it? Even in the unknown or the wilderness, I will make rivers of, you will have new friends. That's what masterminds are for. You intentionally put together different personalities and people who think differently as a mastermind. So when you cut off those that have not served you well because they want you to stay where in that mindset and it's not serving you, you have to be able to say goodbye. God asks you to say goodbye. That's why we form this Mars Collaborative, that if you stay within this, stay with this group, stay with that group, making your own, trust and believe, you will be bringing in the abundance very soon. The lack mentality, not enough. If I give up this 10,000, no more is going to be coming anytime soon because I'm not performing or attracting the money. And this is really where it says, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're holding unforgiveness. This, you really want to get close to God, watch how, this is really where it gets really serious. The money flows limitlessly to you. And this is not I'm talking my truth. It flows to you when you are peeling off the unforgiveness. People who have hurt, you remember, go back to your why story. Why you think I tell you start with why? Because in your why story, people cheated you, people hurt you, people disrespected you. All that hurt, you bottled it and putting a wall between you and the abundance of God, who is flowing it at you, and you're praying, but it's hitting the wall because he cannot go through a wall of unforgiveness. So in my exercise program with my clients, because I have private clients outside of malls, they go through the forgiveness thing every day. They have a sheet, and I probably will email it to you guys. And every person from the time you know yourself, even age 7, whatever, write their name down and genuinely and passionately forgive them, for they know not what they do. Jesus taught that on the cross. Father, forgive them. They were not drunk. None of them was alcoholics. As you said, well, they were drunk. No, they knew. People would say, could God say they don't know that they pierced his side and do all that? No, because it's deep rooted. What they do on the outside, they don't even know what was driving it. So your block and your limitation of money is coming from unforgiveness that nobody's asking you to solve. Negative emotions buried alive. You got to find it, forgive it. And that's a journey. It's not overnight, because believe me, you say, okay, I forgive you, and it's going to pop up tomorrow. No, you did not forgive. You just said it. But each of those layers, as you move them through, you're going to say, I just got lucky. No, you didn't get lucky. It's because you're removing the density of the wall, and some of it, because it's like mustard seed, is still going to come through. Just 1 or 2 forgiveness could start bringing some in. It's still not going to be a million, but it's going to get there. Okay. So, I don't know. That's lack of mentality. The next one is, frozen. So the whole exercise is to reverse the narrative. Everything that your parents, your society tells you, you're going to reverse it. Every negative thing that you believe about money is not enough. I can't afford it. If I do it, I'll bankrupt myself. I'll be out of business. All those words they do not resonate with God, because it makes him a liar when you say that. So that's why you need the support. I can't tell you go out and start doing it, because you don't have the support. You have to stay in a support system for 3.5 years for this whole thing to make you a new person. Tools of the trade. You need a planner, personal and business. You can have a project management software. Let me tell you, I'm working with Asana and Trello, but Asana is a little crafty. They're going to want to charge you. Trello would give you a break up to 10 boards. And, you know, I don't know if any of you have used these, but they're awesome, because I could invite any of you to work on it. Just like with Life Plan, you can invite me in to work on your life plan. These project managers things, you can have people who can help you. Somebody knows how to do a design, somebody who knows how to type. You just bring them on inside of that. They grab it, they take it, they put it back in. It's awesome. So get used to these project management software. They're not expensive. Personal growth and development book of the month, leaders or readers. And I suggest the first one is start with why. But there are others that I'm going to give you. And if you have a book club, that's how I share with you to have your mastermind, because everybody will be on that growth and development book club. I'm a certified John Maxwell coach and mentor, and we have tons of mastermind program. I will be more than happy to help you get one started and supply you with the tools that you need to run it, right? Social media pages, your blogs, your videos, learning how to offer quiz and challenges, be on podcasts. These are ways that you're able, these are going to be ways that you're going to be able to advertise for free. Podcasts, you have Podbean. I use Podbean. You have Apple have podcasts. You have, you all know what a podcast is, but get people, interview them. Interview them. Malls, as of the 15th, will be having members. We're going to be interviewing each and every one of you all. So tomorrow, when you show up at the members meeting, we're going to go into details. We want to make sure you have your website or your Facebook or your social media tight with something, your flyer, even if it's a one-page flyer of how they could reach in a service you have. We're going to give you time to get all that, but we are going to be interviewing every single week until eternity. So we might be rotating you more times, and you will take that recording and just give it out, put it on your website, put it on your social media pages. You can repurpose it, but you can use it as a podcast. But all of this, these are ways that people get to know you. You can host your own have people always try to get interviews on people's podcasts because they give it to you, and that's how people get to know you. And they give you an opportunity to say where to find you. Get a VA. In the Philippines, they're $8 an hour, maximum 10. They're brilliant, they are sharp, they can call your clients, they can do so many things to help you from the Philippines. And if you want them here from the US and you can afford it, they're $25 an hour, right? Or some will be at 15, but I have not found anybody willing to work for $15 an hour in the US as a VA. They're between 25 and 35, right? Work evenings and weekends. If you have a full-time job, you cannot afford to work overtime. You cannot afford to work overtime if you have a full-time job. The answer is no. Some people will actually take a demotion so that they have more freedom that doesn't require overtime, so that they can take 4 hours or 3 hours in the evening. They could go from 6 to 10, 5 days a week, or 4 days a week. All right, but I think 5 to 10, 4 days a week would work. Whether you do Sunday to Friday, Thursday, or however you do it, 4 days. Okay, 5 days. And you have weekends for those who feel that they can do that, right? Whether you are a Saturday that you would take or a Sunday that you take, that's up to you, all right? But that's how you do it part-time. And we come to the end, and then we're going to go into pure questions and answers. So when do you begin? When do you launch? You're first going to take a business assessment because you want to know where your business is and what you will need to do to get to your goal. Because on the assessment, it's going to ask, what is your revenue goal? And you have a 3-year performance. You're not expecting to make $1 million. I'm not saying it's impossible. It just depends where your mindset is. You get rid of that money consciousness and that mindset block, promise you, you can do $1 million in the first year. The only thing that stops you is your mind and mindset about money and self-sabotaging beliefs. That's your only block between you and $1 million. Trust and believe, because I could show you all kinds of ways to get there. Okay? Schedule business assessment interview. And some of you have done that already. Agree to get started and remain consistent. That's the problem. The inconsistency is your enemy, right? That's why you need an accountability partner. Determine if you're ready to do business part-time, and I just told you how you can do it, evenings and weekends, or are you ready to jump all in, burn the bridge, and figure it out later? Can you envision your future lifestyle funded by your business? Can you envision your future lifestyle funded by your business? At this point, I'm stopping the share. I'm going to see all who will be here with me. I'm greeting Susan, Sherry, Ratasha, Katrina, Gracia, Sonia, Christine, Honore, welcome, welcome, and Chris Brian. So I've spoken over much. And so the floor is yours for tons of questions. That's what we're going to do right now. Tons of questions.
Winnie, can you just go back to the last slide for 1 second?
The last slide, sure. Let me get back to screen share. There you go. And you can always do screenshots with
Yep,
your
and I
camera,
can-
okay, whatever you want to do, okay?
Yep.
Very good. Because once that's up, I can't see you at all. I have to stop share to see you. I wasn't able to see any of you while I was there. Okay. Questions. I expect tons of questions. Uh-oh. Did I overwhelm? Oh my gosh.
We have a question.
Yes, Mom. Yes, yes.
Hi, everyone. So,
Hello. Wait. Gracia, introduce yourself and what your business is. So people know
I think
who.
pretty much everybody
No,
there knows.
that's not the attitude. Never go with attitude. Always, I'm practicing you no matter where you go, you always introduce yourself and your business. People tend to forget, okay?
Okay.
Start
So, hi,
advertising your brand.
everyone. My name is Gracia Clary Layos. I'm the owner of Bevo's Kitchen, and we are a whole food plant-based business. We focus on making foods that are healthy, nutritious, delicious, and foods that will help build your immune system. Our motto is because you are what you eat, and we truly believe that if we were to eat healthier, we would be a healthier people, and diseases or viruses would not destroy us the way that it is doing today.
Wonderful.
So that's a little about what I do.
Very good.
So
So now
now,
question.
Queenie, my question. So towards the end, when you were showing the slide with the helpers, the people that could help you come on board, because I have spoken to you before and you know exactly where I am. Where would people like that fit into my story? Where would those kind of people come in to help me? Because as you know, I am to that point where I need to make that other leap. So what is my next move based on that group of people that you just showed there?
You're talking about the mastermind?
The mastermind is important
Were
too.
around the table? You're talking about the ones around the table?
Not exactly the ones around the table. Remember, there was a list that you showed, and you said, this one could help, and this one might be a little bit more expensive. You do not know where you'd fit into that.
Are you talking about the customer base? When you, because
I think it might be like the CPA. There was a slide you had.
okay, that's what I want to know. You're talking about the CPA, the professionals? I don't think that's what she's saying, but
No,
no.
it's not. It was one after that.
I think you're talking about the client base. When I said that you have 100 clients paying you 10,000, right? Was in that, it's in the context? Isn't that context?
About that.
Yes? You said
Yes.
yes? Okay. Where do you find it? That's what I'm saying. You have to find out where those people are. That's a research that can be done, right? Who all make over 100,000? And in your case, if you have a health-based business, watch this. No one making money over 100,000, I think, would be the janitor, not putting down the janitor. They're usually executives. They're usually professionals. They are health conscious to the core. They're the ones you're finding in the gym on those, what you call those things that go up and down like this, you know, their little hips, and they have their book and their thing on their head. Those are the ones, they're very health conscious. So you need to go where they hang out. If in our community, sadly, Southeast Queens, they don't hang out here. All right, so you would have to move into their community. Maybe not your home, but you will find ways on Eventbrite, for example, will always have events in various areas, and you can put zip codes in there. And if you know they live in a certain zip code or they work in a certain zip code, you find your way there. And you're not going in to meet them and sell them the same day. You're going in to get yourself known, like, trust, and then you build that relationship. You take a card of the one who's talking the most, because if you get one, you get the rest. The person who seems to be chatty, that means they know more people in that group. You find out, well, how long have you been with this group? What do you like about it? And if you see that they're gelling and their feedback, may I have a way to contact you? Because behind that person are more like them. You see? So you don't need all of them. You need to get 4 or 5 or do Jesus's model. Find 12. Not all from the same group because there's no value because they're in that group, but they're looking for people from another group at their level. And if you bring them together, they're happy. Oh, nice to meet you. You're the connector of people on that platform that they don't know. So they're over here and it's another group over here and another group over at 156, another one in New Jersey, and you bring them together because they never knew each other, but you're not taking them down. You're taking them on that level and above. So you're being very strategic and intentional. I can train you how to do that. You use a tool called Remo. It's not JIT, it's not Zoho, it's called Remo. All right, Remo has different floors. So you can be an organizer, find somebody who knows how to organize these people. Your clients are going to be found on LinkedIn. You're not going to heavily find them on Facebook. So we'll have to show you how to create your own podcast and your own interview group on LinkedIn where you can easily invite them. You got to go where the people are because your product is high end, right? It's not for Facebook, it's for LinkedIn.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did I answer your question? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Very good. And you need to get up, you also have to do Huffington Post. Be a writer or blogger for Huffington. Huffington also upscale. So if you put your blog, weekly blog or every 2 weeks under the health section, and you put your little blurb that you just said at the end of it, they're gonna click on your website. So there's much that we can tell you, but I don't want to hog up all the time. You're going to do your one-on-one, right? Okay. Right. Anyone else? Who else has a question? And if you're speaking, we can't hear you because you might be on mute. Yes. I think, Sherry, you are speaking, but you are muted, I think. It looks like I could see your mouth moving, but there you go.
Okay. Are you hearing me now? Yes.
Yes. I'm hearing you.
Good evening. My name is Cherry Stewart Joseph, and fine art. I do art,
Yes.
and I have a lot of problem to get my business out there. It have to do with, as an artist, it's very hard for me to market my product and to do my work at the same time. So my goal is to find someone, as what you said, that can speak on the work and sell the work.
Yes.
I can do both.
There you
So
go.
that is one of my things that I have to
Work at.
be very working at that part.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, following God's formula, Moses says he couldn't speak. Who is it that God gave Moses as the spokesperson? Who?
Aaron.
Aaron. See? So that's why the 2x2. You know what your gift is. You are the creator. You are creative. You get the business-minded person who knows how to communicate. Just let me tell you the stages in business so you understand it, okay? The person who makes the least amount of money are the implementers. They're the ones on the ground floor doing the work. They will make the least amount of money. The next person on that ladder is going to be the manager, the managers of people, right? So you have a team of people who are doing the work, and the manager is the next one that's going to make more money than the team of people doing the work. And then above the manager is the one who knows how to communicate, like Aaron. They are the speaker. They know how to promote and market. They're the PR group partner that you have. And then you being the creative, you are the one with endless imagination. You get paid the most. The person who has great imagination, they get paid the most. Most people remember the story with Bill Gates had some people from, I think, the East, Europe or wherever, touring the Microsoft office. And it's glass. If you've been in there, you notice everything is glass, right? Most of those
Mhm.
Manhattan firms, there's all glass. There's no wall. You could see what's going on behind, in any of those cubicles. So as he was going down, introducing what have you, the foreigner said to Bill Gates, "What's that guy doing? He is back in the chair, hands on his back and legs on the table." So taking somebody from the East, where you go and you're sitting at your desk, you're working, they're not used to this culture that you're paying an employee, the hands on the back, he's looking into space and his legs crossed on the table. You know, when you kick your leg, the guys kick their legs up on the desk. I asked Bill Gates, "What's this?" Bill Gates says he gets paid to think. He gets paid to think. So he said, "Oh, that means he gets paid like $15 an hour." No, my dear. He is getting paid $500,000 a year. It's the highest paid profession if you are a creative person. It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift, okay? So you get your partners in place. The implementers do not like business. They'd rather hire somebody. My sister and I, when we worked together, I was the business head. She was the creative guru. She could do things with hair that will make you spin, and I couldn't even begin to imagine. That's just her gift. But she hates the business aspect, the paperwork and all of that. She will freak out. So when we two came together, we had Multi Beauty Studio and Day Spa when we were on our Rock in 96 and 97, where they couldn't understand how we were doing. We had such broad booking, and yet we are way expensive than anybody else in Southeast Queens. How was that? Because the team was tight. When it comes to team development, client motivation, oh my goodness, we had ambassadors that were out there and they were winning gifts. We have customer appreciation brunch at the hotels for them. Oh, it's so fun. But that was my gift, to build a tribe, a loyal tribe of customers. That's count me in, right? Loyal employees, count me in. Product and service strategy, count me in. And when I put that mixture together, you will floor the market. And that's how we ended up. We didn't even have a PR person. Our local's father came in and spotted this and called his son up and said, "You send a crew down here right now, because this is unbelievable. You should have seen the place. You should have seen the place." We sold it in 2003, but it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's what I do. Hospitality, creation. I'm in the imagination space, right? That's where it is. So if at any day I decided money is no longer my concern, because if I am billing all of you out and you all are satisfied and I decide to move on, I go back to now, if I want to bring in $1 million in 6 months, I know how to do it. That's why you don't see me race after these things, because I know how to do it. I'm at that mental level to attract who I need, who can make it happen. And I can get 30% of the deal. Do you see what I'm saying? I can function on 30% of the deal. So if I bring in gurus that I have who are high-end people, they do $1.2 million if I bring them in on a contract. I don't care what amount of money you charge. I can find the audience for you because I know how to sell a service. I just need to know you're good so the egg is not on my face. And I'm getting 30% of that $1.2 million. I think I'll be doing pretty good, don't you think?
Mhm.
Okay. All
Winnie,
right.
I have
Yes, sir.
I have a question. So in order to, to go through the proof of concept and
Yes.
show that you have a viable business, right?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
At the root of that, if you've identified, you think you knew your target client, right? You started building the business towards that, but they're not they're not converting, right, the way that you would like to.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you can revisit, making sure that they really are the target client, or pivot to, I guess I'm answering my own question, but how do you,
That's
if you
okay.
miss
That's
the
what
mark,
coaching is. You get to
if you
talk it
miss,
out.
if you miss the mark on the proof of concept, and a part of it is that your target client isn't really converting, what would you say to, and how long do you stick with that target?
It's meant two things that prevents conversion: wrong messaging,
Mhm.
wrong target. Now, if you this is what I know to be true, right? This is why I'm good at sales, is because it's a gift that God has given me to reach the heart, the emotional heart. The other day I was sharing something with Susan. This is Susan's business. Do you all like Susan's business? Our Legacy Plus, she has a backdrop, she's my client. She has been my client. She's 1 year, September, 1 whole year that she has been my client. And I know we have Sonia, who is a contributor to her platform on the relationship. So this is how we're going to build out Sonia's business. It's a whole platform, but she is my client, going to the proof of concept aspect, and she's going to be a membership-based program, right? So I'm building her entire business out for her. Now, I said to Sonia, and I also said to Susan on Friday, where we do a recording, and I was in a conversation, we have fireside chats for her organization by bringing on different speakers. And I was sharing, as the speaker, she was doing health, and as she was speaking high level, I was able to take what she had at high level, and I was able to give an image to the organs and what they do. And when I said that to Sonia, what did you say? You and Susan, what did you say when I gave imagery to the functionality of the organs in the body? What did you say? On mute.
Right, I think,
I'm hearing you.
you hearing? Okay, good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the imagery of it, just seeing it, just, you just want to be, what's that thing that anyway, not the exact words I can remember, but the whole imagery of it pulled you in, and you are now able to connect it to make sense of what it was all about.
That's it. It's the connection. I'm going to
The
give him an
connection.
example. I'm going to give him an example. And I probably, if time would permit, I could probably do an example for Chris to actually give him an example of how I would have been able to convert from customer service, right? But let's say it was a health message and one needs to be in bed by 10 p.m., right? I think that's what's the message, by 10 p.m. And that none of the organs, the stomach and everything, you got to go to bed at 10. Everybody have a deadline to clean up shop. So dinner by 6:30, that's it. It takes, if you're vegetarian, it takes 4 hours for the food to digest. All right. So if you have your dinner by 6 o'clock and it's 4 hours, and it should not take 4 hours because you're not eating heavy meals at dinner time, it's supposed to be light, like a salad. So basically in 2 hours, it should be gone, right? So the imagery I use is that, imagine the digestive system look up and says, okay, no more food coming. And the manager says, all right, everybody, wash up the dishes. Now this is the digestive system talking, right? Remember the M&M's commercial? How they had little men on the M&M's? That's what you do. You give life forms to the activity because the story sells. So you let them see, imagine that they're washing up all the dishes and the knives and everything, the digestive system, they're hosing it down. If you ever go in the back room of a restaurant, they will have a big hose and they're hosing down the floor and they're scrubbing the floor. And imagine the digestive system getting prepared to turn lights out and they're gonna go home, or they're gonna go into the bunk and they're gonna go sleep. I think that's what Sonia was saying when I did the imagery, right?
Mhm.
Lights out, everything, kidney went, did its peeing, because no beverage in past 8 p.m., right? So you get an hour and 20 minutes to empty the bladder. So by 10 p.m., lights out for you. The heart goes on skeleton function, right? The lungs are on a different type of a breathing, and you're out cold, and you'll be up around 2:30 and feel like you have slept for 8 hours. But the one organ that is going to perform outside of the heart and the lung is going to be the liver. It's while you are sleeping that the liver sounds like those guys that come out at 11, 12 o'clock at night, the garbage, you know, when does the garbage truck come out in your area? Don't they like to come when you're sleeping? You hear 11 p.m. at night, right? And if it's a commercial, like in Brooklyn, it's be on the main street. You see the garbage truck running at 11 o'clock because what? They can get on the sidewalk, people are gone. The liver is the garbage truck getting ready to dump. So the liver needs you to sleep with no food at all in your stomach for it to clean itself at night. So when you wake up in the morning, you have a bowel movement. It's all ready for desiccation. So when I said that, it created an interest. You're able to remember it, and that's what leads to conversion. So Christopher, what I'm saying, your company is Customer Satisfaction Services, right? All righty. Now, if this is a workshop, because it's not necessarily a full workshop right now, but I would like to have you in a workshop with the rest of the team, because as a matter of fact, we're going to throw it out there. Don't tell them what you do. Everyone, just by the name of Customer Satisfaction Service, start throwing out some ideas of what you would expect to get from a person that has a business at that name. Throw it out for me. And Christina, I saw your hand.
Great internet connection.
What is that? Internet?
Great internet connection.
From Customer Satisfaction Service and internet?
Yes, because if I go to your website and it takes too long to load, I'm unhappy.
Oh,
I didn't hear the last part of the sentence.
I said, if I go to your website and it takes too long for it to load, now I'm unhappy and I'm not
Right.
staying.
okay, I got you. Right. So you're saying for his service, he needs to go to the company that's taking too long to load and he can get a business there. Okay, I get it. That's from the customer's complaint. But we're talking about you being a business owner. You are the business owner. You're not the client. You're the business owner. When you hear a person have a business says Customer Satisfaction Services, you are the business, you need customers, right? And now you see somebody with the name Customer Satisfaction Service. You don't know anything, you just hear the name. What goes through your mind with that name? What would you expect under that title that he can provide? Let me hear.
A person that can help you bring up your customer service.
That can do it what?
That can help bring up your customer service.
Can help bring
your
up your
client.
customer service.
To
Okay,
help, you know, help
that's
service
broad
the-
level. That's high level. That's high level, right? That's the end result. Bring up the. But what are the steps that you think that service you can, if you think about it? Yes, that's broad. Bring up the customer service, but how?
I could see him probably teaching smaller businesses how to navigate or how to do better customer service.
Okay, that's exactly what he does. But notice he said services. Did you have an S at the end of service? Customer satisfaction? Yeah, he has an S at the end of services.
So you have more than one.
Service that he's offering. So what are some of the things? Just think about customer satisfaction. Just use those two names. Customer, yes.
How to deal with customer complaints.
How to deal with customer complaint, yes.
He deal with customer problems from the beginning.
Customer
to the end.
problems.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He handled that part.
Yeah,
So
customer.
instead of going to the manager, he is the one that take up that initiative to help the customer as much as possible.
Okay, so all of this is part of his marketing message. That's what I'm doing, right? So whatever it is, he's able to bring that across because he's doing that survey. Now, let me ask Christine first. Christine, you have a hand up pertaining to this, or you have a different thing because I'm coming to you separately. I'm not hearing you. Your mic is not working. Your audio. Speak again. Yeah, your audio is not.
I'm gonna log out and
I'm
come
hearing you
No, we
now.
can
We're
hear you
hearing
now.
you now. We're hearing you. Yeah,
back.
go on.
Different.
You said different Yep.
Yes.
question? Okay, so hold on. So let me
Okay.
play the genius in winning now on this one, right? So imagine customer, I have a
Problem
so
solution.
if you're paying attention to my slides, did you see a part that says quiz? Did you hear me mention about one of the things I did for
Or
my,
surveys.
what?
No, I'm just thinking about quiz and surveys.
Surveys, quiz.
Mhm.
What did I say that I was passionate in doing for my clients? Let me see if you all had missed that when I said I had my spot. What did I do with my clients? Did you miss it?
Hospitality.
Yeah, you have the hospitality, customer, client appreciation. That's a number one setup. So that means if Brian came to me and says, Winnie, we offer customer appreciation service. We will take it over, give us the name of the client. It's almost like an event planner, but for customer service. So he has an event
Okay.
board and he is saying that we are going to, and he put a whole game plan over and come to me and say, look at the ROI on this. Tell me how customers really feel. It's all about 80% emotion, 20 or less % in logic. So it's how you make them feel. So I would like him to come and tell me and say something like this. So Winnie, my business is customer satisfaction service. We do client train, we train your staff because we know that if they are fully trained, they could create that look and the feel and the experience that will wow your clients, right? So we do, and we handle that. And I like what one of you said, I don't know if it's Susan, Sherry also said that, yes, I don't want to deal with customer problem. Do you have a division of your company that all complaints go through your company and you handle it? Oh yes, I'm checking that one. You got my attention there. But then you also said, you explained to me that if you wow the client in appreciation and you put them out there in lights and you put them on podcasts and you get them on radio, or you take pictures of them and make them client of the month, all of this handled by you. You say to me, you coming in and you will do client of the month. I mean, not only customer of the month award that they recommended X amount of clients within that month. All of those services, I'm ready to sign up for. So you're telling me, Mr. Brian, you're going to do all of that? Your company do all of that? When do we start? Anyone of you all seeing me? Or anybody feeling me with this? Or I'm the only one that's seeing this?
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great.
You would have signed up for that. Now, Mr. Brian, how did you feel if I'm selling that back to you?
I mean, that's right in line with some of the services that I do provide or intend to.
Yes.
So this was great feedback to get.
And when you tell the story and example, just don't have the head, tell them what it looks like.
Right.
Okay, so this is what we will do. We can take clients and we can help them to do a contest. Who referred the most clients? When? And we will make big bubble. We're going to send this on their job or what have you. And then their friend says, what did you do? We recommend the most clients and we got this award. Really? What up? Oh, can I be part of that? How many clients did the company just receive?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And they realize when these clients come in, they're paying, they can pay for your service. So you have to break it all down. So it's about tightening your message to the right market that have quality service that clients would gladly be a part of. So you can build out an entire suite for them over 24 months. 24 months contract. So all of that is just your messaging and what it is. And if you can handle that, I think that would be great.
No, it's great feedback. Thank you.
You're welcome. And now, Sherry.
Christine.
Christine,
Yeah, I'm here.
right, it's
I'm here.
Christine. Yes, Christine,
Oh,
I'm listening to you. Tell me. I think Christine had a question.
No, Winnie, I just want, good night, everyone. I just wanted to share my
Yes,
business. I was
Tell me.
invited by Sonia,
okay.
and
Welcome,
so
welcome.
far, I really like what I've been hearing tonight, and I just wanted to share what I do.
Yes,
My business is called See Unique Blossom.
See Unique Blossom, okay.
Yeah. I do decorating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an event planner, coordinator. I can make anything happen. You think it will be done.
So Christine, am I understanding that you'll be a great collaboration with Chris Bryant in customer satisfaction if he brought you on to create that wow experience for the client? You think that's a...
Oh, listen, listen. I am not tooting my horn.
Okay.
I'm not tooting my horn. I guess because growing up with my grandmother and I didn't have children to play with, I had like crazy imaginations.
Nice, nice, nice.
So I can do anything. You just say it and it
Wow.
will be done.
Wow,
If I don't get the wow factor, something is wrong.
wow.
I can,
Satisfaction.
once the client have the money, it
Yes.
will be done.
Once the money, see,
can't
there you go.
Yes, you can't ask me to do a $25,000 job
Mhm.
with $2,500. It's impossible.
No,
That means that I'm gonna have to dig into my pocket to make it happen for you.
to have that wow experience.
Yes.
Wow. So write down his number at the bottom. You notice he put it in the chat, right? That's Christopher Bryan. Grab his number from the chat. We're going to talk more. I'm so happy you're motivated. That's the kind of numbers I want to hear. Okay. There are clients out there. And once you guys are ready to get rid of the self-sabotaging, I can come into your mind and take your skills to the next level.
I want to go, I am craving to go to the next level because I'm tired of just people going, oh my gosh, I want to, oh my gosh, everyone.
There you go.
I want to do
Perfect.
that. I am
So-
tired of seeing people hiring people who don't even have a license
Oh my
and
gosh.
charging them $25,000
Huh.
and the work they're doing is so cheap.
And wait, stop. But people were willing to pay 25,000, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. People will pay you whatever you ask for if they show up with the confidence like you have. You see, just listening to her voice, how many of you all would, if you have a function and 25,000 is in your budget that you would pay her? Just listening to her in enthusiasm, how many of you would do that? Let me see the show of hands.
Absolutely.
That's my point. How you show up, how you speak is converting enough.
I can make cakes hang from a ceiling.
Exactly. When I go out to speak, if somebody brings me to speak in any of the arena, whether it's a church platform or a business platform, as long as I open my mouth and I make a presentation, they bum rush me at the door. Can I have your card? Do you do this? Can I have your card? Because I speak in such a way they can connect You know, there's a mastermind class that we have with John Maxwell says everyone is speaking or everyone communicate. Only a few know how to connect. To convert, you must connect. And that's all formed in messaging. So we're going to talk some more. We welcome into Miles. Okay.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Now, I would like Katrina to introduce herself and just say what it is that she does. She makes awesome, she's a referral from Mark Briscoe. Tell us the story about your soap, my dear, and how why Mark actually said you need to come to Miles. What happened?
Well, what happened to a lot of people last year. I lost a lot of people during the pandemic, including my mom, grandmother, and aunt, within a 2-week span. And in order to keep me sane and out the hospital, I took the stimulus money instead of buying, like everybody's getting crab legs. I decided to do what my mom wanted to do, which was to do a business. So I took, my gift of cooking and then just started making my first batch of soap, and I've been batching ever since. So I'm pretty much probably at 50 batches now.
50
all
batches
started
of
from March.
soap, and you were at a night market here in Queens. Mark,
Yeah,
here,
with
his wife
Dolores.
came over, saw it, and called her husband and said, come, see this.
Yes.
Can't wait to see the amazing display of your soaps and the
Thank you.
various things that probably Christine could even do in an event thing, and your deck, it's just creativity.
Yes. Networking.
Networking, wonderful, wonderful. And her soaps are all in healing. So Gracia, I could see Gracia's holistic products going along with your holistic soap, because I think you have a soap with elderberry and what? Elderberry.
Well, I have soaps with elderberry, sea moss, anything that she would probably put in her store to sell, for you to eat. I'll put it in my soap.
Look at that. Whatever it is you can eat, she has it in the soap. Unheard
Well,
of.
so I mean, we can eat the soap too.
Most can eat
I
the
wouldn't
soap.
recommend it.
No.
those days have,
But it's great marketing. You see, it's all marketing and the message, and remove your disbelief and the limitation of lack. Working on that mindset, creating those masterminds, speaking with conviction, knowing your craft, knowing how to connect, and be aware of the imposter syndrome that you've heard of, right? You can bring yourself up to that level and have that creativity. But some people are very technical, you're not creative. Be with a creative person on your team. I know if Christopher hooks with a creative person like what Christine is in that point, it can fly. Just creating packagings. Creating packages, it can really fly. All right. We're at the top of the hour. Any last questions? Was this good?
This is great.
It was great.
Excellent.
It was very good.
Right. Thank you. I just need to stop the recording now, but we can still hang out if anybody still wants to hang out. I officially have to stop recording. Okay.